Welcome back, fellow shop rats. It's a Talk About It Tuesday.
Spanning the shop to bring you a constant variety of projects.
That's today's subject. Stick around. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
I work really hard to try and provide a variety of content here on the MKS channel, and I think for the most part I do a pretty good job of that. But remember that while I'm working hard to provide a variety of content, it's also me and my OCD, because I can't focus on any one thing for very too long, and my channel is always about just spending the day in the shop with me working on whatever it is that I'm working on. So that's the reality. And that idea for that theme in the channel came about 3 years ago from actually the channel viewers who said it's always good to spend a day with you in the shop. And I realized, hey, the second element in the channel always is not just sharing the projects or what I'm doing, but also sharing the mindsets and the thinking behind what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. While I don't necessarily see this as much as a how-to channel or a teaching channel, to me it's just sharing my life. And if you learn from that,
Even if it's learning what not to do.
then I think that's a winner-winner chicken dinner. I take very seriously all the comments that you guys give, and while recently I've been really struggling to keep up with comments, it's just because of some other business ventures I'm involved in that are demanding a huge amount of my time. I will get to it, I promise. The thing that really strikes me is some of the comments that I've heard consistently over the last few years coming from people who aren't necessarily car people, and what they're appreciating about the channel. And that's very encouraging. The one comment that I have heard many times is they appreciate the variety of the projects because it keeps the channel interesting, because they never know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And while they may not be car people and know how to do all of this work, it's fascinating to see the kind of work that I do, although some people would call it doo-doo, and that's okay. And just sharing the breadth and the depth of my smatterings of knowledge and experience. I've done high six-figure restorations, and I've done $20 restorations on things and everything in between. And one thing I've learned in all my years of experience is there's not necessarily a right way to do things. There are best practices, but as the channel theme has been for the past year, make it safe, make it done, and go have fun is the bottom line. If it's safe, if you got it done, and you're out having fun, how can that be wrong? As the song says, if loving it is wrong, then I don't want to be right. We have a variety of projects ranging from 1926 to 2018. Well, the 2018 isn't a project, but I do work on it once in a great while here on the channel. So we have, almost 100 years of automotive stuff that we're working on, and that's cool. It's interesting, it's stretching, it's frustrating, it's, it is what it is, and that's what it is. I know that we have viewers that are here specifically for one or several of the projects. I know some people are here specifically for the 26 Oakland, some people are here specifically for the 47 Ford, some here only for stitches, some for the Duster, scoops, sassy, and one of many other projects we have. But I want to make it clear that I didn't set out to have this many projects. It just kind of happened.
I'm a victim. It's not my fault.
While core techniques and principles are the same on the 1926 Oakland as they are on the 2018 Mini Countryman, the technology is a little different because my Oakland doesn't have a key fob and things like that. And we have everything somewhere in between. And I will admit that I do not like the electronics, computer technology in cars. If you followed me at all on my 2012 Ram is what I'm trying to say. You have seen me beat my head against the wall and tear my hair out, and I'm still struggling with that, mostly because of the cost of what it's going to take to fix it. But I think as you look at the channel in the bigger picture, there's always something to at least be exposed to, that you can learn from, even if it's not what I'm necessarily doing, but you can see a variety of techniques and principles and technologies, and well, there's a lot of different kinds of stuff that I work on, and that in itself can be an education. I've definitely heard from some spouses of people who regularly view the channel, who they happen to sit down and watch the show as their mate is watching it. And it goes both ways, male and female, so I'm not saying just the wives. But I've heard from those people, and they say, you know, I'm not really into cars, but I really do find what you do fascinating. And I think that's key. I think we tend to get wrapped up in the completion mentality, and we've talked about that on the channel before, of, you know, we want to see the beginning to end in 20 minutes without seeing the nitty-gritty details, the nitty-gritty dirt.
Not the bear.
The nitty-gritty details of what it takes to do projects, how long it takes to do projects, and all of the stuff that's involved in doing projects. Now, I know you've heard me say that before too, but it's just been interesting in light of some of the recent comments I've had to view the channel through those eyes. Now, there's more. There's always more. Wait, there's more! I admit that the idea of that variety is nothing new, because when I first started the channel at my wife's encouragement, that's one of the things that she said is, you do such a wide variety of things. I think people will find that interesting. Well, you know, apparently my wife was right. Well, you know, she's always right. In fact, when you love somebody, you give up on the idea of ever being right anyway, so she's right. If you view the channel as a smorgasbord, some people want to eat everything. Some people get to pick and choose what they want, and I think that's the goal. I know some people absolutely love Talk About It Tuesdays, and other people could do without them, and some people could do without the Oakland project, and others could do without the 47 Ford, but altogether, it's quite a cacophony of flavors if you think about it.
Cacophony. That's a big word. Kind of like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Now that sounds quite atrocious. I'm always interested in hearing what you would like to see more of on the channel, and I can definitely tell by looking at the stats on the channel what you like and what you don't like. But I also have to keep a bigger picture in mind. Well, there's a very famous philosopher by the name of D. Snyder. Well, a long time ago he said he's not going to take it anymore. Well, he wasn't exactly right, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I saw an interview with him about the early days of Twisted Sister. And at the point that they started to get a record deal, they were very popular in New York City, and they had tens of thousands of fans, and they were in high demand, and they were making a very good living playing the club scene in New York. When they were offered the record deal, it was taking the band in a direction that Dee felt very strongly was going to alienate that fan base. And he said, we can't do this because we have tens of thousands of fans, and if we go this direction, which was more commercialized than what they were known for at that point, they were going to alienate that fan base. And the A&R guy said, we're not talking about tens of thousands of fans, we're talking about tens of millions of fans. Of course, Dee's eyes lit right up, and they got it. They signed the record deal, and the A&R guy was right. They got tens of millions of fans. But almost 40 years later, Dee said something very profound that has stuck with me. And he said, when I was presented with having tens of thousands of fans versus tens of millions of fans, what I should have said was, I want both. Well, I'm not looking to have tens of millions of fans on the channel, but I'm obviously looking for the channel to grow. However, I don't want to alienate you guys who have been with me through thick and thin. And I think Dee's thoughts 40 years later are very applicable. I want to listen to what you guys have to say, and I take that very seriously, and I don't want to alienate you and turn you off, but by the same token, I don't want to turn down the possibilities of growth. And I think there's a way to do both. And so that's what today's talk about it is about, just recognizing that the hardcore guys, the hardcore gals who are here for very specific projects, very specific skills that make me a nightmare for rusty old hunks of junk. I think there's a way to keep continuing giving you guys the content that you want while still continuing to grow to the point that this content appeals to a larger group of people. And a lot of that is the marketing. I realize a lot of it is just getting the word out. You know, as Duddy always said, it's good to get the word out. Those are my thoughts today, not directly related to the project, but once in a while I do like to talk about the YouTube stuff because, well, that's where we are. And I think it's important subject matter as well, and I find it interesting. I find the symbiotic relationship, is that the right word? Between the channel and the projects and the shop and the talk about it and the thinking and all of that stuff, I find all of it enjoyable, and I enjoy doing the projects as much as I enjoy doing the videos, most days anyway. Some days I don't enjoy the projects, some days I don't enjoy doing the video, but you know, it's life, and not everything can be candy and nuts. Well, I'm usually nuts. Anyway, drop your thoughts and comments down there. I'd appreciate hearing from you, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one. At least I'll be here. You should too. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot. It's the most important thing. Don't forget.
Rah!